Cancer is often viewed as a terminal disease, and success is measured by how many years a patient survives rather than full recovery.
At The Truth About Cancer, we hear from patients every day who aren't just surviving, but they're actually thriving. It's possible to live a full, healthy life. Cancer is not a death sentence. In this clip, Dr. Rashid Buttar shares with us how the emotional, psychological component of healing is the most important part.
When people lose hope and truly believe that they're going to die, they often do. That's why it has been our mission to bring hope to those who feel defeated by this disease.
Let's check out this video from Dr. Buttar.
Believe it or not, the most significant is the emotional psychological component. I have had patients, and the stories, I've got a book that I've written that I haven't published, but the stories that I can tell you where we've actually taken patients, in fact I'll tell you, we've had 2 families that agreed to autopsies on patients that I had treated. And most of the time when you talk to a family about getting an autopsy, why? Their question is, well, why would we want to spend another $5,000 to do an autopsy when we know they had cancer and they died of cancer? There's no reason. But one family in 1999 and another family in 2001 agreed to do an autopsy after the patient died, after we treated them. Because in my heart, there was no way that this person had cancer. You want to take a wild guess what they found in an autopsy?
No cancer.
None. At all. Not even a trace. What was interesting was both patients, however, died within a week or 2 of when they were told they were going to die by their oncologist. The power of belief. That's what they believed. Because doctors don't realize when they're doctors, and when somebody hears it, well, they're the doctor, they know. So when the doctor says something, they've just put a thought in the person's brain, and it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, interestingly enough, that second patient that they did the autopsy on, the nephew of that patient owned a funeral home, and the patient was buried through that funeral home. And he came back a couple months later to tell me a story. He said, listen, I wanted you to know, Dr. Buttar, that when we got the autopsy, when we ordered the autopsy, they sent the patient from the funeral home for the autopsy. And they hadn't started the process yet, so they sent for the autopsy. And the pathologist that was doing the autopsy contacted the funeral home and said, you sent me the wrong patient. And they said, no, we sent you the right patient. No, we sent you the wrong patient. No, we went back and forth 4 or 5 times. And finally, the funeral home said, listen, there were only 4 patients that came through our facility this week. 3 of them were women. 1 was a male. You're supposed to have the male. We know the difference between a male and a female. You have the right patient. And the pathologist's response was, well, this patient had died, supposedly, cause of death was hepatocellular carcinoma, liver cancer. The pathologist said, well, 1, this man has no cancer in his liver. And secondly, his liver is that of a 35-year-old. Patient was 67 years old. Now, I know that there's no way that this guy could have had a cancer in his liver anymore, because what we were doing was rebuilding his liver. And as you know, the liver is a highly regeneratable organ. And so anyway, it was an interesting piece of history for me that as I was going through this, because I stopped asking for autopsies after that. I believe that if I cannot address the emotional psychological issue of a cancer patient, I will, no matter what happens, I will lose that patient. But if I can address it, I don't care whether it's multi-organ system failure, the kidneys are failing, the liver's failing, stage 4, multiple metastasis, they will come through it. I have actually patients, and you've seen some of these patients on video, that had cancer that went from breast, spread to the brain, the spine, the spleen, the lungs, the liver, the scalp. And this is the same patient, given, gone through chemo and radiation. Actually, she was an oncological nurse, believe it or not. She'd been an oncological nurse, a cancer nurse for 45 years. And she was told that she had 3 months left to live. And she lived almost 10 years. And you've seen the videos, right? Okay, and anybody can go to Medical Rewind and see some of these videos. But the point is, it's the power of belief and that emotional psychological burden that a patient has. I have never seen a cancer patient yet, in fact, that did not have a deep-seated emotional trauma. And many times, they may not even be cognizant of it. They may have suppressed it. But until that's released, you will not see a complete and permanent resolution. My patients that have really done well, and some of those patients you'll be talking to, I know that you've scheduled to talk to some of them, there's one recurring theme that I hear from them. After they've gone through this challenge, they relate to me how grateful they are that they had this disease, how it transformed them, how it changed their life, how it allowed them to see a different perspective that had they not seen, their lives wouldn't be where it is today, where their lives are today. And that gratitude, that appreciation for having gone that experience, that's really what cancer is, a wake-up call. I believe that in 20 years, nobody's going to be scared of cancer. It's going to be like getting a cold, but it's a wake-up call. When you get cancer, you need to do something. It's God giving you the ultimate email, but it's like it's something that takes the wind out of your sails as soon as you hear it. It's not a death sentence. It's only a death sentence if you believe it's a death sentence.
We hope you enjoyed this video from Dr. Buttar. The Truth About Cancer Global Quest is a powerful 9-part docu-series that explores the best ways to prevent, treat, and beat cancer.
And we're inviting you to watch the series entirely free. Simply click the link in the description to save your spot today. Thanks so much for watching. Like and comment and let us know if this has been helpful. And share by clicking the button below and help us to spread the word. Thank you and God bless.